We're about to delve into 7 habits that significantly changed my life in just 1 week. Yes, you heard correctly, 1 week. It may sound unbelievable, but I assure you these aren't the typical tips you come across everywhere. These are genuine, raw, and honest habits that I personally integrated into my daily routine. I faced the struggles, experienced the breakthroughs, and enjoyed the triumphs. The transformation I went through was nothing short of amazing. I'm eager to share these with you because they've had such a profound impact on my life, and I believe they can do the same for you. Whether you're aiming to boost productivity, improve mental health, or just make a positive change in your daily life, these habits can help you get there. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because these habits aren't just theoretical. They are practical, actionable steps you can start implementing today. Plus, I'll share personal stories and insights from my own journey, giving you a raw and honest look at how these habits worked for me. Without further ado, let's get started. Habit 1, waking up early. The first habit that transformed my life was waking up early. I'll be completely honest, I was never a morning person. My bed was my best friend, and I used to hit the snooze button more times than I can count. Mornings were a chaotic rush, and I often felt like I was starting my day on the wrong foot, but I decided to give waking up early a try.
And it was a game changer.
I started by setting my alarm for 5 a.m.
The first few days were brutal.
I remember dragging myself out of bed, feeling groggy and wondering
if it was worth it.
But I pushed through, and by the 3rd day, something incredible happened. I began to appreciate the quiet
And stillness of the early morning hours.
There was something almost magical about being up,
Before the rest of the world.
when everything was calm and peaceful. With these extra
Hours in the morning.
I found time for things I never seemed to have time for before. I started my day with light exercise, nothing too intense, just some stretching or a short jog around the neighborhood. This not only woke me up, but also energized me for the rest of the day. I also spent time meditating and setting my intentions for the day. These few moments of mindfulness made a huge difference in my overall mindset and productivity. Another surprising benefit of waking up early was that I no longer felt rushed. I had ample time to enjoy a healthy breakfast, sip my coffee slowly, and plan out my day. This unrushed start set a positive tone for the entire day. I was more organized, less stressed, and felt a greater sense of control over my time. One personal experience that stands out was the morning. I watched the sunrise from my balcony. It was a simple yet profoundly beautiful moment. As the sky changed colors and the world slowly woke up, I felt a deep sense of gratitude and peace. It was in that moment that I truly understood the power of waking up early. Now, waking up early might not be for everyone, but I encourage you to give it a try, even if it's just for a week. Start with just 15 minutes earlier than your usual wake-up time and gradually increase it. You might be surprised at how much of a positive impact it can have on your life. It's not just about having more hours in the day, but about using those hours to create a more mindful, intentional, and fulfilling start to your day. Habit 2, daily exercise. Speaking of workouts, daily exercise was habit number 2 that truly transformed my life. I'll be upfront, I wasn't always the most active person. I used to find every excuse in the book to avoid working out. I'm too tired, I don't have time, or I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? But one day, I decided enough was enough. I made a commitment to move my body every single day for a week, and the results were incredible. I started small, just 20 minutes a day, mixing it up between yoga, jogging, and strength training. I wanted to keep it interesting, so I wouldn't get bored and quit halfway through. The first few days were tough. My muscles were sore, and I felt exhausted. But I reminded myself why I was doing this, to feel better, both physically and mentally. By the 4th day, something amazing happened. I woke up feeling more energized. My mood had improved drastically. I was less irritable and more positive. I realized that those 20 minutes of exercise were not just about burning calories or building muscle. They were about giving myself time to focus on me, to release stress, and to boost my endorphins. One morning I remember lacing up my sneakers for a jog. It was a crisp, clear day, and as I ran, I felt a sense of freedom and clarity that I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was just me, the open road, and my thoughts. That sense of connection to myself and the world around me was truly empowering. I also started to see physical changes. My posture improved, I felt stronger, and I noticed a difference in my overall fitness. But the biggest change was in my mindset. Exercise became my time to disconnect from the world and reconnect with myself. It became a form of self-care rather than a chore. Another personal highlight was trying yoga for the first time. I was hesitant at first, thinking I wasn't flexible enough, or that it wouldn't be a real workout. But after a few sessions, I fell in love with it. Yoga taught me to be present, to breathe deeply, and to listen to my body. It was a transformative experience that went beyond the physical benefits. Incorporating daily exercise into my routine made me realize that taking care of my body directly impacted my mental health and overall happiness. It's not about being perfect or pushing yourself to extremes. It's about finding a form of movement that you enjoy and making it a regular part of your life. So if you're like I was and struggling to get started, my advice is to start small. Find something you enjoy, whether it's dancing, hiking, or even just a brisk walk. Commit to just a few minutes a day and gradually build up from there. Trust me, the benefits you'll experience will be well worth the effort. It's a habit that has the power to change not just your body, but your entire outlook on life. Habit 3, journaling habit. Number 3 is journaling. I used to think journaling was just for people with loads of free time or who were naturally introspective. I was skeptical. Who has time to sit down and write about their day when there's so much going on? But 1 week of consistent journaling completely shifted my perspective.
And it became a cornerstone of
My personal growth journey. I started simple. Every night before bed, I dedicated just 10 minutes to journaling. I bought a plain notebook and a pen that felt comfortable in my hand. No fancy apps, no pressure to make it look pretty, just me and my thoughts. The first night,
I stared at the blank page.
unsure of what to write. But then I began with something basic
How my day went, what made me happy.
and what I struggled with. As the days went by, I started to dive deeper. I wrote about my goals, my fears, my dreams, and even my insecurities. It was like having a conversation with myself. And that's when the magic happened. I began to notice patterns in my thoughts and behaviors. I realized that some of the things I worried about were completely out of my control, while others were areas where I could take actionable steps. One night I remember writing about a particularly stressful day at work. By putting my thoughts on paper, I was able to process my emotions better. I wrote about what specifically stressed me out, how it made me feel, and what I could do differently next time. This simple act of reflection helped me gain clarity and feel more in control of my emotions. Another powerful aspect of my progress, I noted down small victories and milestones, no matter how minor they seemed. Looking back at these entries filled me with a sense of accomplishment and motivated me to keep pushing forward. For instance, I wrote about a presentation I was nervous about and how I prepared for it. Seeing my preparation process and the positive outcome documented in my journal was incredibly encouraging. I also started a gratitude section in my journal. Every day I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. This practice shifted my focus from what was lacking in my life to appreciating what I already had. It was a simple yet profound shift that brought more positivity into my daily life. One particularly memorable entry was about a random act of kindness I experienced. A stranger helped me when I was struggling with my grocery bags. Writing about this act of kindness not only made me feel grateful, but also inspired me to pay it forward. Through journaling, I discovered a lot about myself, my desires, my fears, my strengths, and my weaknesses. It became a form of therapy, a way to untangle the complex web of thoughts and emotions that we all carry around. It provided a safe space where I could be completely honest with myself without fear of judgment. If you've never tried journaling, I highly encourage you to start. Don't worry about writing perfectly or having profound thoughts. Just write whatever comes to mind. It could be a stream of consciousness, a recap of your day, or reflections on a specific event. Give yourself the freedom to express whatever you're feeling. You might be surprised at how much clarity and peace it brings into your life. Remember, it's not about what you write. It's about the process of writing itself. Habit 4, mindful eating next. Up is mindful eating. This was a big one for me because, like many people, I used to eat on the go, barely paying attention. Up is mindful eating. This was a big one for me because, like many people, I used to eat on the go, barely paying attention to what I was consuming. I would scarf down meals while working, watching TV, or scrolling through my phone. As a result, I often overate, felt bloated, and didn't really enjoy my food. Mindful eating completely transformed my relationship with food and my body. I started by setting aside specific times for meals without any distractions. No TV, no phone, just me and my food. At first, it felt strange and a bit uncomfortable. I was so used to multitasking that sitting down to eat felt like a waste of time, but I committed to it. And within a few days, I noticed a significant change. When I paid attention to my food, I started to notice flavors, textures, and aromas that I had never appreciated before. Eating became a much more enjoyable and satisfying experience. I found myself savoring each bite and feeling more connected to my body's hunger and fullness signals. One memorable experience was when I made a simple salad. Usually I would have eaten it quickly, without much thought. But this time I took my time. I noticed the crunch of the lettuce, the sweetness of the cherry tomatoes, and the creaminess of the avocado. It was like tasting food for the first time. Meals much more enjoyable and satisfying. Another benefit of mindful eating was that I started to make healthier choices. When you're fully present with your food, you're more likely to listen to your body's needs. I began to crave fresh, wholesome foods rather than processed snacks. I also found that I ate less because I was more in tune with my body's signals. I knew when I was full and stopped eating, rather than mindlessly finishing everything on my plate. One day I decided to indulge in my favorite dessert, a rich chocolate cake. Normally, I would have devoured it quickly, feeling guilty afterward. But this time, I approached it mindfully. I took small bites, savored the flavors, and truly enjoyed the experience without any guilt. This made me realize that mindful eating isn't about restriction, but about enjoying food in a balanced and healthy way. I also started to practice gratitude before meals, taking a moment to appreciate the food in front of me. The effort that went into preparing it and the nourishment it provided made a big difference. It added a layer of mindfulness and gratitude to my eating experience. If you want to try mindful eating, start by eliminating distractions during meals. Take small bites, chew slowly, and savor the flavors and textures of your food. Listen to your body's hunger and fullness cues, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Mindful eating can transform your relationship with food and help you develop a healthier, more balanced approach to eating. Habit 5, digital detox habit. Number 5 is digital detox. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by constant notifications, social media, and the endless stream of information. I found myself spending hours on my phone, mindlessly scrolling through social media and feeling increasingly anxious and disconnected. So I decided to implement a digital detox, and it had a profound impact on my well-being. I started by setting specific times to unplug from technology. For 1 week, I decided to turn off all screens 1 hour before bed and not check my phone first thing in the morning. Instead, I used that time for activities that nourished my mind and soul, like reading, meditating, or journaling. The first night was challenging. I kept reaching for my phone out of habit, but I resisted the urge and picked up a book instead. I noticed that my mind started to relax, and I slept much better. I woke up feeling more refreshed and ready to start the day. One particularly memorable evening, I decided to take a walk in the park without my phone. It felt liberating to be fully present in the moment, without any distractions. I noticed the beauty of nature, the sounds of birds chirping, and the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. It was a simple yet profound experience that made me realize how much I had been missing by constantly being glued to my screen. Another benefit of the digital detox was the improvement in my relationships. Without the constant distraction of my phone, I was able to be more present with my loved ones. I had deeper and more meaningful conversations.
And I felt more connected too.
The people around me. One morning, instead of reaching for my phone, I decided to meditate. The quiet and stillness of the early morning, combined with the absence of digital distractions, made for a deeply peaceful experience. It set a positive tone for the rest of my day and helped me feel more centered and focused. If you want to try a digital detox, start by setting specific times to unplug. It could be 1 hour before bed, during meals, or for a designated period each day. Use this time for activities that nourish your mind and soul, like reading, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones. You might be surprised at how much more peaceful and present you feel. Habit 6, reading daily, the sixth habit that changed my life was reading daily. Growing up, I loved reading, but as life got busier, I found myself reading less and less. I missed the joy of getting lost in a good book and the knowledge and inspiration that came from reading. So I made a commitment to read for at least 30 minutes every day, and it reignited my passion for learning and personal growth. I started by choosing books that genuinely interested me. I created a cozy reading nook in my home and set aside a specific time each day for reading. For me, this was usually in the evening, before bed. It became a relaxing and enjoyable part of my daily routine. One of the first books I read was about personal development. It was filled with practical tips and inspiring stories that motivated me to make positive changes in my life. Reading this book opened my eyes to new perspectives and ideas, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose and direction. Another memorable book was a novel that transported me to another world. The characters, the plot, and the vivid descriptions captured my imagination and provided a wonderful escape from the stresses of daily life. It reminded me of the joy and magic of storytelling. Reading daily also had a positive impact on my mental health. It provided a much-needed break from screens and the constant barrage of information. It helped me unwind and relax, reducing stress and anxiety and concentration. One particularly impactful book was about mindfulness and meditation. It taught me valuable techniques for staying present and reducing stress. I started incorporating these practices into my daily life, and they made a significant difference in my overall well-being. If you want to make reading a daily habit, start by choosing books that genuinely interest you. Set aside a specific time each day for reading, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. Create a cozy and inviting reading space and make it a relaxing and enjoyable part of your routine. You'll be amazed at how much knowledge, inspiration, and joy you can gain from reading. Habit 7, practicing gratitude. Last, but certainly not least, is practicing gratitude. This habit had a profound impact on my mindset and overall happiness. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and focus on what's lacking or what's going wrong. Practicing gratitude shifted my focus to the positive aspects of my life and helped me cultivate a more positive and optimistic outlook. I started by keeping a gratitude journal. Every morning I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. They didn't have to be big or significant. Sometimes it was as simple as a warm cup of coffee or a kind word from a friend. The act of writing them down
Made me more aware of
the blessings in my life, no matter how small. One morning I remember feeling
particularly stressed.
and overwhelmed, but when I sat down to write in my
Gratitude journal.
I realized that there were still things to be thankful for. The support of my family, the opportunity to pursue my goals,
And even the beauty of a sunny day. This simple practice shifted
my focus from stress to gratitude, and made a huge difference in my mood and perspective. I also started expressing gratitude to the people around me, whether it was a heartfelt thank you to a colleague, a note of appreciation to a friend, or simply telling my loved ones how much they meant to me. Expressing gratitude strengthened my relationships and brought more positivity into my interactions. One particularly memorable experience was writing a thank you letter to a mentor who had made a significant impact on my life. Putting my appreciation into words made me realize how much I had learned and grown because of their guidance. When I shared the letter with them, it deepened our connection and made me feel even more grateful for their presence in my life. Practicing gratitude also helped me during challenging times. It reminded me that even in difficult situations, there are still things to be thankful for. It gave me a sense of perspective and resilience, helping me navigate challenges with a more positive mindset. If you want to incorporate gratitude into your daily life, start by keeping a gratitude journal. Write down a few things you're grateful for each day. It could be in the morning to start your day on a positive note, or in the evening to reflect
on the day's blessings.
Also, try to express gratitude to the people around you. A simple thank you can go a long way in spreading positivity and strengthening relationships. In conclusion, these 7 habits, waking up early, daily exercise, journaling, mindful eating,
Digital detox.
reading daily, and practicing gratitude, had a profound impact on my life. They helped me become more mindful, present, and connected to myself and others. They boosted my productivity, improved my mental and physical health, and brought more joy and fulfillment into my daily life. Implementing these habits wasn't always easy, and it took time and commitment, but the benefits far outweighed the initial effort. If you're looking to make positive changes in your life, I encourage you to start with 1 or 2 of these habits. Incorporate them gradually and see how they impact your well-being. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small victories along the way. These habits are tools to help you live a more intentional and fulfilling life. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on personal growth and self-improvement. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how these habits have impacted your life, or if you have any other habits that have made a difference for you. Until next time, stay positive and keep growing.